When he was president, he did nothing to fix our immigration system. And earlier this year, we had a chance to pass the toughest bipartisan border security bill in decades. And Donald Trump tanked the bill because he thought that that bill, if passed, would have hurt him, and he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
So yeah, she's saying all this, but let's actually see what a conservative representative had to say about this border bill.
We need to set the record straight about the Senate bill and actually H.R. 2. When the Senate bill was actually published, I remember I was at a dinner Sunday night when it came out, when the text came out. I read the text of the Senate bill. Many members in the House read the text of the Senate bill. Members contacted Speaker Johnson, and we were very clear. There is no way the Senate bill should get a vote in the House because it is a terrible piece of legislation that will not secure the southern border. House Republicans have passed border security measures, H.R. 2. We did it more than a year ago. Has Chuck Schumer brought it up for even debate or a vote in the Senate? No, he has not. Has the White House decided to reach out to the Speaker Johnson to debate and deliberate or negotiate or compromise on H.R. 2 and its elements to secure the southern border? No, they have not. They're in charge in the Senate and in the White House. They've done nothing except a bill that couldn't even make it out of the Senate. So I think it's important to set the record straight. Oh, also, by the way, House Republicans weren't going to vote for that bill, and that was before Donald Trump even made his view known on the Senate compromise bill. We were already against it when the bill text came out because it's a trash bill. Now, moving on.
Now look, so this is his Twitter right here, right? Look, why the Senate border deal failed in all caps. Codify, catch, and release. Let 1.8 million illegals fund sanctuary cities, fund NGOs moving illegals, giving illegals lawyers, work permits to illegals, nothing to deport illegals, no immediate wall funds, weak asylum screening, and $60 billion to Ukraine. So it really seems like that was more of a border deal that was designed to benefit Democrats. And then when they didn't get what they wanted out of the deal because it was a bad deal, they now can blame the evil Republicans who only want to run on problems. Doesn't surprise me at all. So now after neglecting the border for almost 4 years, Kamala Harris now wants to show up less than 40 days before an election to the border and make it seem like she cares about the border.
Madam Vice President, can you share what the agents at the last stop talked about?
They've got a tough job, and they need rightly support to do their job. And they work long hours, they're very dedicated, and so I'm here to talk with them about what we can continue to do to support them and to also thank them for the hard work they do.
So what you're looking at is a compilation of the amount of times Kamala Harris has tweeted about the border since 2021. In 2021, right when they got in, she was getting a lot of pressure about it. She tweeted about it twice. In 2022, not at all. 2023, not at all. 2024, an election year, from the 1st of this year till the 26th of this month, she tweeted about it 7 times. From the 27th to the 28th of this month, she's tweeted about it 15 times. She knows this is a big deal and she wants to win an election. We have no reason to think that she really cares about securing the border and making sure we keep our people safe. I mean, really think about this. This woman in an election year has tweeted about the border 11 times more than she had for the past 3 years that they've been in the White House. When I say 11 times more, I mean 1,100%. 1,100%. It's clear this woman wants to win an election. It's very clear. We cannot go back and look at her history and be like, yeah, she cares about the border and she wants to secure the border.
Down with deportation, up with education, 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 down with deportation, up with.
Now let me ask you, does that seem like someone who's tough on the border? Who really is worried about securing our border, literally saying down with deportation? Is that someone that seems tough on the border to you? This here's the ex-border chief. Listen closely to what this man has to say. He's testifying in front of Congress.
Chairman, distinguished members, thank you for this opportunity. The only true consequence we have to slow down and discourage people from coming into the United States illegally is sending them back to their country of origin. Throughout the first 3+ years of this administration, I saw a steady decrease in the countries we could send people back to. For the first time in my 25 years, and under 5 different administrations, whether through neglect or on purpose, I saw a large-scale lapse in our ability to return people to their country of origin. The inability to send people home meant that most people being arrested for illegal entry would either have to be detained or released. The current administration, however, from day one, made a point of decreasing the amount of detention space available nationwide. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's funding for detention has steadily been cut and private detention eliminated. The fact that so many illegal aliens are being released into the United States spread worldwide very quickly. As this happened, the numbers the Border Patrol encountered illegally crossing the border increased exponentially. The impact to me and my agents were significant. Sectors were ordered to take in and process all the illegal aliens encountered on the border. The Border Patrol saw groups of hundreds and thousands coming into the United States and turning themselves in. These numbers pulled 80, 90, sometimes 100% of the agents on duty away from the border. Border Patrol zones across Texas, Arizona, and California had no agent presence for weeks and months at a time.
No agent presence for weeks and months at a time. And these are the people saying and Kamala Harris tells you, securing our border is our #1 priority. That's been our priority. She barely talked about it. The only time it became a priority is when she knows she's about to lose an election and it's a big issue.
Those who did not want to be caught could simply walk in. We have no idea who and what entered our country over this time. Throughout 2022 and 23, I sent agents to Texas and Arizona to count gotaways. Those sectors could not even put enough agents in the field to see what they'd missed. Simultaneously, in San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year.
Wow.
These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border.
The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. They were trying to manipulate you and I to thinking that under their leadership, there was not a problem where there clearly was one.
Fentanyl is another issue. The San Diego area sees between 80 and 90% of the methamphetamine and fentanyl seizures annually for our entire country. With little enforcement at the border, these drugs were coming through en masse. During my last year in San Diego, the price for a single pill of fentanyl, for example, went from $10 to 25 cents. To make matters worse, during 2022 and 23, I had to shut down San Diego traffic checkpoints.
Hold on, though. Think about that. From $10 to 25 cents. Rough math suggests that rough math would suggest that that's a 40x increase in supply in order to bring the prices down that much. But Kamala Harris is out here talking about, well, we got to stop this fentanyl getting into the country. You're the reason so much of it is in the country. That's what's so crazy. The fact that they go out here and act like their policies are not a direct cause of the problems we're having in this country.
Which are critical for drug interdiction, because the resources had been diverted to the process and release mission. The large numbers also had and still have a negative impact on the San Diego community. I had to release illegal aliens by the hundreds each day into communities who could not support them. To quiet the problem, 2 flights a week were provided from San Diego to Texas.
So they're taking illegals that they're letting into the country in California, a blue state, and flying them to a red state. Think about that.
These flights simply brought aliens that would have been released in San Diego over to Texas. Each flight cost approximately $150,000.
So they were using the money that you and I earn, that the government takes, and flying illegals across the country with it. Got it.
This was the administration's way to try and quiet the border-wide crisis. Once these flights were stopped and the releases continued, California saw the true economic impact. I received calls from the governor's office, local mayors, and hospital administrators asking me if we could keep injured aliens in custody so the federal government would pay the medical bills. Through pressure from the administration, my headquarters became more interested in the fiction that being portrayed in the media and not at all concerned with reality. Each time we asked for help in dealing with a new issue, it fell on deaf ears. At times in San Diego, we had 2,000 or more aliens sitting in between the fences, asking to turn themselves in. I was told to move them out of sight of the media.
Listen to that again. Listen to that again.
Turn themselves in. In San Diego, we had 2,000 or more aliens sitting in between the fences, asking to turn themselves in. I was told to move them out of sight of the media.
He was told to move them out of the sight of the media, so they wouldn't see the reality of what's going on, because, the Biden-Harris administration doesn't want the world to actually see the results of their policies. Not to mention that, notice how he said his request fell on deaf ears.
All concerned with reality. Each time we asked for help in dealing with a new issue, it fell on deaf ears. At times in San Diego, we had 2,000 or more aliens sitting in between the fences, asking to turn themselves in. I was told to move them out of sight of the media. Meanwhile, Border Patrol agents are continually forgotten and neglected by the media and this administration. These agents...
Listen to that again.
While Border Patrol agents are continually forgotten and neglected by the media and this administration.
By the media and this administration.
These agents deal with death, women and children that have been raped, abused, trafficked, bought and sold, families that have spent months in terrible conditions, sickness, and despair.
So I want to hear that one more time. I'm sorry.
These agents deal with death. Agents are continually... I was told to move them out of sight of the media.
Get them out the side of the media. We don't want the media to see that.
Meanwhile, Border Patrol agents are continually forgotten and neglected by the media and this administration.
But remember, Kamala Harris is up here saying this. Listen to what... Remember, think about what he just said, and let's go back and see what Kamala Harris is saying, why she's in Arizona.
Tough job, and they need rightly support to do their job, and they work long hours. They're very dedicated, and so I'm here to talk with them about what we can continue to do to support them, and to also thank them for the hard work they do.
Why do you think she's awkwardly standing like that and seems uncomfortable? Because she knows she hasn't done shit with them at the border. She knows she hasn't been taking care of them. And they've said it. Why do you think the Border Patrol Union was grilling her about what she was saying when she was here in Arizona? Or I'm not in Arizona, but when she was there in Arizona. It's absolutely wild. The fact that she comes up here with a straight face and tries to act like she's the one who's tough and strong on the border, it's disrespectful is what it is. It's disrespectfully trying to gaslight people. Under this administration, we've seen record levels of illegal immigration, and they somehow are still trying to blame Trump for the problems at the border. They don't seem to have a mirror. They seem to have no self-reflection, no self-accountability. Your policies have directly created the immigration problem in this country that you're now running on, trying to fix. Absolutely insane that they try to gaslight people into thinking that it's Donald Trump's fault, that the border is how it is. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.